Hi everyone, welcome back to the third installment of Learning with Loden. In the December Learning with Loden, we're going to be talking today about our transportation department, and we'll have members that will be going over some of our protocols and procedures that we use for transportation, and also the fact that we've had annual inspections, and we've had 100% safe inspections for over 20 years now. And additionally, we'll have an overview of our school police officer program. We have school police officers scattered across our district. They have to keep us safe on a daily basis to make sure that our children and staff members are able to arrive and leave campuses in a safe manner. And today I think you'll enjoy the updates that we have for you, and just look forward to our presenters over the next few minutes talking about the updates that we have for transportation and our school police officers. Thank you and have a good day.
Well, thanks, Dr. Loden. We're really excited to bring you another edition of Learning with Loden. And I know this year is going to be all virtual, so we're going to take just a little different route about some things, but we still have those really important topics that we want to discuss with you. And one of those is, of course, our safety and security, and specifically with our school police and kind of what's going on there. And so we have our Director of School Police, Jason Hartzell, here with us. And so thanks for joining us today. We're really excited to have you here. And so I guess just, I know you've had some switchover in the department. You have some new officers. So what's the department looking like right now? And maybe what's it looking like in the near future?
Sure. We have 6 officers, that's including me. We have one that's been deployed. He's in the Air Force, and he recently has been deployed, so we're down one. Mm-hmm. And so the coverage, kind of suffers there, but we have had the opportunity to hire 2 subs.
Great.
And they help out in the evenings with games and things like that, any events. So we have those 2. We have a new one that started this school year. He came from Nixa Police Department. His name is Chris Reese, and he right now is filling in at the high school for the guy that got deployed. So he usually works over there with me. My office is at the high school as well. But we're plugging along, trying to get through this pandemic just like everybody else is.
Well, I know, and with COVID, I guess, how does that really change how you guys operate as a department, and how's that change your safety precautions or just your day-to-day activities?
Sure. So we used to, or we try to get into lunchrooms with the kids and things like that, the smaller kids, and we try to spend a lot of time with the kids. That has kind of changed this year because of the pandemic. We can't really spend a whole lot of time, but with us being masked and 6 feet away and things like that, we can do some things. It's just not as close, as we're used to. So that's a little bit different. As far as any kind of safety things, like if we have to transport somebody, whether it's taking a kid home if they're sick or something like that, that doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes if the parent can't make it, or transporting a kid just for whatever reason, we have to make sure we clean the car and all that after they're done, and we try to keep it as safe as possible as far as that goes. But yeah, that's really about all that's changed.
Well, and I know you guys have been really focused on a lot of training and kind of like getting a lot of specialized training. What has that kind of been looking like over the past year, and what kind of updates and changes have you guys made to those kind of procedures? So
a lot of stuff, as everybody knows, is online. As far as our police officer training, we get a lot of that online, and that's helped out a lot actually this year. It also helps with manpower. I don't have to send someone off to get training and things like that. The training we do for teachers and staff, we're going to an online platform there. This weekend, we're actually doing some training for XLT, the Extended Learning time, and it's on Saturday, and we're doing it just like we used to do. Of course, we're going to be social distance and all that stuff and wearing masks, but so I'm excited to teach all of them again, and then some of the new ones, things about active shooter and such.
And I know active shooters, with COVID, a lot of that stuff has still kind of maybe gone out of the mindset of everybody, but those day-to-day safety things that we deal with all the time, from intruders to just people on campuses, or just those day-to-day things, is not really changed. We're having to do all that in addition to all the COVID situations.
Yes. Yes, correct. The world hasn't quit turning because there's a pandemic, and there are still people, that want to try to get onto campus. I mean, it doesn't happen every day, obviously, but every now and then you have to check on a person or check on a car, especially at the high school. There may be a car on the lot that shouldn't be there or that has been there for a while, and things like that. Those things have not stopped. So the pandemic has just added to the job of everybody. So.
Well, I know you guys as school police officers as well, one of your main goals is to have that really positive relationship with students and be interacting with them. I know you talked about that before, but why is that so important for you guys to just be kind of a part of their lives in a day-to-day sense where it's not kind of abnormal to have, a police officer there? Why is that important?
Well, it's the whole see something, say something type thing. If they feel comfortable with us, they're probably going to feel comfortable with an officer on the street or a deputy on the street or hire a patrolman that pulls them over for some reason or something like that. So if they feel comfortable with us and they feel like they can come to us with an issue, whether it's a friend is feeling depressed or whatever, and maybe we can jump in and stop something from happening, a tragedy from happening. As big as that, but then as little as, hey, can you come help me with my car? It won't start or whatever, and that happens every day almost. But which is great, that they can come to us for that type of help, and just trying to be a positive role model to some of those kids is really, it gets really exciting, to see. Someone that, well, like just the other day, a kid asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I was like, you don't have to buy me nothing, and then he said, well, we're good. Us as a senior class is going to get you something, awesome. And I was like, no, you don't need to be doing that. You need to be buying nothing. But so, things like that, it gets exciting and it feels really good to be there for those kids and keep relationships with them.
And I know we've talked about in the past with a lot of things, it's those personal relationships that come into play when there is something that happens, or there, I know we've had some situations before where we've needed kids to actually talk to us about stuff, and if you hadn't had that relationship there before, they would not have felt comfortable coming to you, and that you would keep things confidential, or that stuff will actually get done. So I know that that's really important to you guys, and I've seen the relationships grow over the past several years, and it's been great that you guys have really gotten in there to do that. Officer Hartzer, we want to really thank you for being here today and just kind of giving us an update. And again, the most important thing, like you said, was if you see something, say something. Our school police officers are here to make sure that our school district is safe. And so we want you guys to feel comfortable about reaching out to them. And if you're ever in a situation that is dangerous, please call 911. We have a great relationship with our NICSA police officers, and our school police officers are members of the Christian County Sheriff's Department. So we all work together to keep this community safe, and it's really up to all of us to see something, say something, and report something when something just doesn't feel right or look right. But if you have any questions, please make sure you give us a call or contact our school police, and we'll be glad to answer any concerns or questions that you have. Well, for our second part of our Learning with Loden, we're really excited to have our Director of Transportation, Donna Collins, here with us today from Alliance Bus. And we're really excited to just talk about the safety things that go into a school bus and all the things from the day-to-day operations to all the changes this year. So Donna, thank you so much for being with us today as well. Well, first off, congratulations, because as Dr. Loden mentioned, you guys have received 23 years in a row with 100% on the state inspection on the first time through, because what most people don't realize is that you can come in, they can find things that aren't good, and then you can fix them and they'll come back. But our buses are first time through, 100%. They come in, and I think they even joke that you guys would, if everybody was like you, you'd put them out of a job. So what does it take to I guess get that 100% inspection, and how do you guys do that in your day-to-day operations to make sure that our buses are safe?
Well, it all starts out with our drivers, Zach. Our drivers in the morning, before they ever depart the lot, they do a pre-trip. And so they actually fill out a form. It's called a daily vehicle inspection form. And it's a checklist of everything they need to be checking. So if they find something that's not working or something that doesn't look right, maybe like underneath they see something hanging down that shouldn't be hanging down, they put it on their DVI, their report. And then they also will get a hold of our mechanic and say, hey, I've got something, come out and look at it. Mechanics will go out and look at it. And sometimes that item can be fixed right then and there on the spot. Sometimes it may cause the bus to have to be out of service. One of the mechanics may say, nope, you're going to take a spare. So we always have a spare bus ready to roll in the morning, because sometimes that happens. There are some miscellaneous things like that may not be working, like you may have a little clip light on top that may be out, and that's not going to cause the bus to be out of service. But we'll let the bus run, and then that morning when it comes back in, then it will get fixed. But if it's a safety issue, anything involved in safety issue, the bus would be down and out of service. So number one, it starts with the driver. It starts with the driver doing their pre-trip every morning before they depart, and then they do that in the afternoon too before they leave the lot. They do a pre-trip. When they do an activity, if they're coming in and getting ready to take wrestlers somewhere or whatever team, they have to do a pre-trip. They're allowed so much time to be able to do that. On the weekends, if they come out and they do a pre-trip and they find something that's not working, we have backup buses that are ready to go. They know what bus to take if there's something wrong with theirs. So number one is priority. Drivers doing a safety pre-trip every morning, every afternoon, or before they depart from an activity. That is the number one key. Our drivers are very well trained. They know what to look for. And they are really good with reporting all those defects to the mechanics. And then having a good maintenance program is so important. Our two mechanics, Lloyd and John, they do an excellent job maintaining. Our buses get pulled in every 30 days, and they get oil changes and tires and lubes and the works. So we maintain a proper pre-trip with the drivers, and then we have a very good maintenance program that we stay on every day. And with our company, we have a budget, but yet we don't. It's kind of like an open budget, because one month we may spend more money than the next month. Sometimes you're budgeted, you can only spend so much a month. Ours is kind of open range. It's like, okay, if we need tires for this bus this month and we're going to go over, we're still going to get those tires. So maintaining an open budget also helps as well. So there's a big factor in that 100% that we get from our state. We take everything with pride. Our drivers take everything with pride. I always tell our drivers, when we get that 100%, it's not I get that 100% or the district gets that 100% or the mechanic. We all as a big team, we get that 100%. And it's huge. It's an accomplishment that we've been able to maintain, and we hope to be able to do it again this year. But the number one priority is safety of our kids, the safety of our drivers, safety overall for everyone. So you can't put a price on that.
Well, I know, and you talk about safety a lot. Time and time again, school buses have been shown through study after study to be the safest way to get kids to school. So I know you guys really promote that and talk about it, but it does boil down to just those everyday maintenance things, those trainings that you take the drivers through. I know you've been adding additional trainings in. What does that kind of look like for you and the drivers?
Well, our drivers are, we always constantly, every month, we have a safety meeting. And it's always a topic about something geared about driving the bus. Last month, we talked about inclement weather, because we're getting ready to come into that time of the year, and what to expect. And we talk about buses hydroplaning. And so we always do a safety meeting. Sometimes it may be a meeting that we're all in a big room together, or sometimes it might be we're out on the lot. We do little obstacles for our drivers. They do a little obstacle training, and they love it. And it's great training because it, mirror awareness, it teaches them, and it's just constantly keeping their mind working. So we do that every month. For anybody who wants to join our team and become a bus driver, they do go through training. From the beginning to the end, they're going to know everything they need to know about driving a school bus and hauling our children. So, and that training is about a 40-hour training program that we work with, because all school bus drivers have to have what they call a CDL, commercial driver's license. In order to drive a bus, you have to have a Class B with the passenger and school bus endorsement. We do train for that, and we keep all of our drivers properly licensed. And at the company, we do physicals every year, motor vehicle record checks. We do background checks with federal and state criminal background checks. And if a person's looking for a part-time job, it's a positive place to work. I always tell people that if you love to drive and you love children and you're not afraid to drive in the four-season state, it's an awesome part-time job.
Sometimes 4 seasons in the same week as well.
Sometimes. Cold morning starts, if it's 25 or below, the mechanics start the buses for the drivers in the morning. That means when our children get picked up, that very first child should get on a warm bus.
That's great. Well, I know with all the safety things, this year is, just that odd year with COVID-19. How has that changed? I know added an extra layer of safety. I know you guys do a lot of cleaning. What does that look like?
We do. We have a gentleman named Patrick. He is one of our bus drivers, and he's so wonderful. And he goes out every morning and he disinfects all of our buses. We use it's a machine. It's like a fogger. And we also use spray too. So we use 2 different types of methods. And we go from the front of the bus all the way to the back. We fog everything: our seats, our windows, the floor, the driver's compartment area. We do that every day, twice a day. We also have hand sanitizers. As soon as you walk up on the step, the hand sanitizer is right there to the right, and that is for our students and our drivers to use. All of our students wear their mask on the bus, and sometimes if a child forgets their mask or don't have a mask, we supply them. The district make sure that I'm always supplied.
You always have a mask.
We're supplied with our adult mask and our children's mask, so the drivers always are coming in saying, "Hey, I'm getting low with mask. I need a couple more. Here you go." And so, and our drivers wear them too. Everybody wears them, and to keep us safe, to keep our kids safe. As you know, you can't social distance on a school bus. They're 40 feet long and there's, 24 seats. And, if we could, we would, but we can't. We're not in a position where we can do that. So we're taking all the other precautions we can as far as keeping our buses clean, disinfecting them, having hand sanitizer right there for the children and the driver to use, keeping our mask on, that's all important things.
And I know, and it's really important that everybody needs to realize we're all in this together. And so if someone's not feeling well or they have any of the COVID symptoms, they need to stay home and go get checked. Don't get on the bus. Don't get on the bus to come to school to get checked out. Go to your doctor before you get on that bus as well. Well, and I know you said something earlier about hiring and a good part-time job. So I know you guys are currently looking for bus drivers, and so. What are the hours, and what kind of person can be a bus driver or wants to be a bus driver? What's a good fit? Those kind of things.
Well, thank you for asking, because yes, we are desperately hiring, like everybody is, because I think because of the COVID crisis, that's put a lot of damper on the school bus industry. I know it's not just a Nixa thing, it's everywhere. And so, but it is a great part-time job, because here's what I tell people. It is great for someone who's a retired, who needs supplement income. It's also a great job for someone who has children that are in the school, because you can come in the morning. The routes vary what time. Of course, it is early, but be anywhere between 5:45 to 6:30. You would have to be there in the morning to run your route, and then you're back by 8:30, 8:45. And then in the afternoons, our drivers have to be back around 1:55, 2 o'clock, and then the earliest bus is back around 4. The latest bus is back in around a little after 5. So you're looking at about 4.5 to 5.5 hours a day. Just depends on the route that you run, and then extra activities. If you want to run extra activities, that's a choice. We don't make people do evening work or weekend, but we have a lot of people that like to do that, take events with our kids. But so it is a great job if you have children, because in the wintertime, during winter break, Christmas break, you're off with your kids. Spring break, you're off with your kids. In the summertime, you're off with your children. So we have a lot of parents. We have parents that work for us. We have grandparents that want to stay involved with the district. They have their grandchildren that go to Nixa. And then our retired people that want to work, a little bit of supplement income. It's a great part-time job. It really is.
And I know you said you do all the training. Like you actually so someone's like, I don't know how to drive a bus, but they
will
want to.
teach you.
Yeah, like you will teach us. So I know it's a lot of training. You take them out in the buses, you make sure that they feel comfortable, and then you even walk them through the whole CDL process.
We
as
do
well.
everything, the whole CDL process. We do it all from beginning to end. And when a person is completed with their training, of course, they do have to go up to Stratford and be tested in the school bus, but they're going to be ready for that because we do all that training to get them ready.
You'll be able to parallel park a school bus.
And and parallel parking a school bus is so easy. People are like, no way.
Yep. No, I will be the first one to attest to that. Like I
went
thought
through
she was
that.
joking. Yeah, I was like, I went through the training. It's actually fairly easy to parallel park a
Yes,
school
it
bus.
is. It's all about the mirrors,
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly. It's all about the mirrors.
So, but we have a wonderful training program, and I'll tell you, when you look at how many people that we've had go through the training program, very seldom does someone not pass, because when we take you up there, we know you're ready and you know you're ready, and we let you ride on the route that you're going to be taking. We'll let you ride on that with the sub driver that's driving it, and get to know the kids. So it's a very rewarding job. It is.
That's awesome. Well, if you are interested in, in working for Nixa as a bus driver, if you just go to nixapublicschools.net/employment, you'll be able to find the link there to contact the transportation office to figure out all those details, and they'll be glad to walk you through, answer any questions that you have, and they'll be glad to help you out with getting you through all those questions so you can become a bus driver for Nixa. Well, Donna, we really want to thank you for joining us here today. This was a lot of great information about how safe our buses are and all the steps that you guys take to make sure that they stay safe for our kids, because we want to get them to school so they have a safe and secure environment, from the time they're picked up to the time they get home, and we appreciate everything you guys do to contribute to that.
Thank you. And I have to share a comment.
Oh, go for it.
Before we leave, to tell you how precious our kids are. During the COVID, when we was able to run summer school, that first day I was on the bus, and a little girl got on the bus, and she actually remembered me from riding with the driver, and she said, "I am so glad to be back. I feel like I've been gone forever." Forever. She was a little first grader out of High Point Elementary, and that just warms your heart, because you're so glad to be back and see them too. So that first day of school, my drivers were so happy to get to see their kids, because they missed them. They missed them a lot.
Well, it's a big family. Nix is a big family, and I think we realized just from everything that you guys did, from the delivering the meals for COVID to just helping out, but just that warm, smiling face that those kids need when in the morning, and a welcoming face, and someone that they know is going to keep them safe and do their best can, and you guys contribute to that so much, and we really do appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me here today.
No problem. We're good. Well, we're good and glad to have you, and we really are excited for that. And just tune in next time for another edition of Learning with Loden.